Good morning. Welcome to Jumpin Offsides with Jeff and Chance, brought to you by Dream Hunt Foundation, also presented by Road Tag and Space Cowboy. Want to thank Louisiana Downs for allowing us to be here and sponsoring the program, as well as
Pete's Coffee.
Pete's Coffee,
yes,
right
sir.
here. Go down there and check them out at the coffee shop down below, and
good
also
stuff.
the Inside Rail. Thank you, Kevin and Louisiana Downs, for all that y'all do. Boy, we were here going into week 1. Had just finished week 0. QB2's out today. Had a mission come in, so he's out. But we miss him dearly.
We do,
because I just wanted somebody to put the farm hand on. He's a prime candidate for that little weak guy.
We do got QB1 in the starting rotation though.
Yeah, we're here. If something happens, I go down, he could come in and be a serviceable backup. We joke about that all the time. But here we are going into week 5. This is, in my lifetime, the only time that things get fast is football season. It's like a vapor.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because you're already through. We just completed week 5, as far as high school and college goes. But man, it's halfway through the regular season.
Yeah. Week 6, here we come.
For those high school teams wanting to go all the way, they're a third of the way through the year because you got to win 15 of them. Chance, you got to play 15 games. Got to go to the dome. A lot of cool high school stuff happening around the area.
I know you're big on obviously North DeSoto. You
Sure.
have a son playing there, and they played Airline this past week. Which Airline?
Well, they played them week 1, and that was their only loss. So they lost to Airline, but Airline High School in Bossier City, man, they're rolling. They look great,
big time
rolling. So they're doing a great job. Coach over there is doing a good job with them. I think Airline's got Shreve this next week. So
I think
that'd be a good matchup.
I think Airline will take care of business there. I don't think Airline's going to have any trouble there. They know how to score points.
They're going to put points on the board. You can believe that.
Points at a premium, as we say in my world. So
points at a premium.
Yeah,
I like it.
I've followed along this year with some of the smaller schools, the Haynesvilles of the world.
Okay.
They're taking care of business.
Are
they? They are.
How's Haynesville, Glenbrook looking? All those guys.
Glenbrook's looking good. I think they faltered a week or so ago at Haynesville.
Okay.
Haynesville. They had some trouble, but all in all, they're not looking bad. First year coach there, and he's getting the kids buying in. They lost a lot of players last year.
A lot of seniors.
Yeah, and so now this year they're starting to build it back, and they have their work cut out, but they're doing much better.
I'll tell you, Calvary's rolling, man.
They are.
They look good, man. They got probably one of the best teams in the area.
I pull for them big time because of Mark Miller.
Sure, I love Mark,
the killer, as we say.
Don't doubt Killer Miller on that kickoff.
Yeah.
Bro, about in the late 90s.
Wide open. Number
He's
36.
about to hit somebody in the face.
There was a vapor trail behind 36 when he was there. Not so much now. He'd probably have to put his hand in the ground right now. But tremendous defensive coordinator. Love what they do at Calvary. I pull for them. Evangel.
Yep. They look good.
I joke with QB2 all the time. The lowercase e is coming back.
Yeah. They're coming back.
Not that they ever necessarily left. I mean, Evangel's still Evangel. And big news came out of there a couple weeks ago. Maybe you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Pop Houston. Love him, man. Him and my son Miller and Luke Delafield, a bunch of them are really good friends. Ben Taylor's a good friend of them, too. And, Pop was at Calvary as a freshman and battling it out with, Caleb Wardell. Abram Wardell is the kid's name, the quarterback at Calvary. And, Abram is a top 5 passer right now in Louisiana. All of Louisiana, all classifications. So he's starting quarterback, and Pop didn't want to sit behind him for 2 years.
Right.
And I can't hardly blame him, So he transferred to the E. Yeah. And so
A big pickup there.
Evidently, he's taking some luggage with him, as Dion says.
Yeah, that's right. He packed his Louis too. The thing that I think about too, if you want to look long term there, Brock, has a son, Briggs, who's playing quarterback. And not to detail this too much, but I look at this like when Pop's a senior, Briggs will be a freshman.
That's correct.
What a good person to learn from. You also have his dad, Brock, Briggs' dad, Brock. He'll be involved in the program big time, and he can help Pop a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, we all salute and hold Denny, Pastor Duran, at a very, very high standard with what he's able to do with all these kids in the area, helping them get to D1 schools and stuff. We mentioned that about Art Carmody, and how he helped him tremendously as he went on to flourish at Louisville. We'll get into that later. But so just the recognition that I think Pop's going to have, and then the help that he's going to have, coaches out of this world.
So when he transferred week 2, so he'll be eligible week 3 of his sophomore year next year.
This is correct.
So, and you got reclassifications coming up across the board. A lot of people moving up and down.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, because I know I heard you mention in a big vote today,
right?
A
big vote. They have summoned any and all principals in every school in Louisiana to Baton Rouge today.
Wow.
For a major vote on the definition of select and non-select, the classifications of Division 1 through 4.
I have never, put this on the record,
all right,
totally, I have never been a fan of the select and non-select. And I don't know many that have been, that I've talked to. You may be. I am not.
Well, a lot of the public schools are, because for instance, you got let's say North DeSoto. All the kids in North DeSoto, they live in Stonewall. Okay, so you're doing what you're doing with Stonewall kids.
Yeah.
You take a team like Captain Shreve. Well, they're magnet. They're from all over Shreveport.
Yeah.
So you got a wide. Now that's a big comparison, okay? But I mean, you got a wide range of kids. It'd be easier doing Huntington. You got kids going to Huntington High School from all over the area.
Yeah.
Kids that live in Broadmoor going to Huntington High School. They don't just live in Greenwood. You know what I mean? So I think it's the most equal. Personally, it's a personal opinion. It is the most equal. We're talking about Pop and Evangel. Pop lives in Spring Hill.
Right.
But he's driving to Evangel every day, which I know he's ineligible, but still he was at Calvary before.
No, I get it.
So it's a little bit of a difference, and I think it's the best thing they've come up with to find some common ground with the private schools, to be honest, in the magnet schools, the magnet components and things like that. But there again, I mean,
I'm still not a fan.
Yeah.
And I think there are athletes on every corner around here, and sure, somebody could poach them and get them at a select or whatever it is. But I look at it from a standpoint: coach them up, up what you have.
That's right.
You can do it.
And where we live, that's kind of been our philosophy. Wherever it lands, however the vote shakes out, we're just going to put the ball down and go play.
Right.
I mean, and however it shakes out, whether we go back to the dome or do this or do that, and I mean, you gotta focus on what you can control, and that's what our coaches do. Dunn does a great job of coaching our kids. Hey, don't look at all the exterior. Focus on your job. Do your job. Focus on what you can control. So. But I do see both sides. I really do. So, some schools like Northwood feel like they kind of got the shaft a little bit because of, they have an open enrollment at Northwood High School. Meaning, your kid could go there if he did the whole magnet component stuff and all that. So we don't have that opportunity at North DeSoto. Your kid couldn't come to you would have to move your family to Stonewall.
Right.
So there is a difference, and I think others recognize that, So,
well, I appreciate you putting that into perspective. And
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'd agree. There's athletes everywhere, and there's kids that can play, and there's a lot of coaches, not a lot, but there's some coaches out there that spend more time whining and complaining about the playoff system than just coaching your kid up.
Coach
dude.
them up.
Coach your kid up.
Coach them up.
Coach what you got. So
that's right. So are there big marquee matchups this week? You mentioned Shreve and Airline, which is going to be a good one.
I think that's the best one locally, probably in 5A.
Okay.
That I'm kind of seeing right now. North Dakota's got Woodlawn this week. So big game for North Dakota in 2 weeks, playing Evangel at Evangel.
Oh, wow.
On Friday the 13th. So
I think I'll be able to make that game.
It's going to be a good ball game. Evangel's got a good team this year.
They do.
Booty's twins there.
Yep.
And of course the receiver and the quarterback, man, they're dynamic. I mean,
I got to watch them. I met Brock over there a couple weeks ago and watched them play Bossier. Watched the first half, and they did what they were supposed to do. Got up big and that's what you expect,
That's right.
When you're a good team, you put them away early, and that's a sign and a staple of a good well coached team, and it's going to take us to college football later to talk about all that and some of the things we're seeing in that. With those marquee matchups, or that marquee matchup this week, was there anybody else that caught your eye? I know Benton's struggling this year.
They are, man.
Moore has his hands full.
They're down.
They lost a lot of seniors, and that's tough. Reynolds is a good coach, a good friend of mine, and I wish him the best. And he'll get it turned around there.
That's right. That'll be good, man. But yeah, locally, I love high school. It's kind of, all these kids know each other. They played ball together growing up through summer ball, whether it's baseball or 7-on-7 stuff and all that kind of stuff. So they're all chatting about it. So
one other thing I'm sure that you know about, and if you don't, then I'm sorry for bringing this up, but Brock has a record that might get broken this year.
Really?
I believe the quarterback from he's from down south around Lafayette, has a really good chance of beating his total yardage record.
Really?
But it's crazy to me that 20
Is that the Lafayette Christian kid?
Yes.
Jawan Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he's a dude, bro.
He
saw him in the Dome last year.
That's right. He's
player.
A guy. Yeah.
He is a guy.
And it was crazy to me. Brock and I kind of talked about it, and I was surprised that somebody could touch it. First of all, but total yardage. That's big, but Brock's still hanging in there, holding records over 20 years old.
Wow!
It just tells you what he was back then, and how advanced Evangel was.
Absolutely.
Back in the gap, and it's big. We've talked about NFL and stuff. You and I have been watching that a lot, and of course being liking to go down to the sports books and stuff. I've seen it, and I always tell myself stay away from NFL and all that because it is such a there are no underdogs as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Denver and Chicago, who are lowly in the league, have just as good a shot at beating because they're professionals and they'll turn it on when they need to and beat somebody that they shouldn't. But
it's so contingent on who's injured this week. You know what I mean? I mean, it's everything.
Yep.
We were talking about earlier, guys. I mean, about the Saints. You got Derek Carr starting, which we think he's probably at 60%. Well, no wonder they don't put any points up. Maybe he can't throw the deep ball to Olave.
No,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And there's the whole conversation of, okay, is Jameis as good? If they're both healthy, is he as good? No. But I mean, is Jameis better at 100% than Carr at 60? Probably. We know he can throw the ball.
Right.
But, hey, so since we brought all this up, you kind of brought up NFL. Let's go back a couple weeks.
Okay.
Did you remember the Rams game when they were down by 10?
Mm-hmm.
The spread was 7.5.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I want your take on this one. They kick a field goal at the end of the game to lose by 7.
Right.
Did the coach know?
Well, in today's world,
he said he didn't know.
In today's world, you probably think they probably do know. But then again, I mean, trying to get points. I mean,
but what's the point? You still lose.
Doesn't matter.
NFL
doesn't matter.
It's not. You don't get cute points. You know.
I understand that, but it good possibility he did. He may have had a friend that had some money on it, and he knew he's a big gambler.
How crazy though, man! I don't remember in recent history in my time having seen something like that, because I was like, oh my word! Well, I can't. That's tough, dude.
You see bad beats all the time, especially in college.
Yeah,
and you see it a couple times a year in the pros at the end of the game, and they're trying to come back, and the spread is 6.5,
right?
And they're up 3,
right?
And somebody fumbles it, and they pick it up and run it in with no time left, and so they win by 10.
Yeah,
you know, and so it screws up the spread and
yeah, but somebody in Vegas lost their mind.
Beats. That's right.
Somebody lost their mind on that one, dude.
Van Pelt has a segment each and every sports center on bad beats. And,
oh, really?
And, yes, and so he always.
Sorry to throw that in there. We didn't even talk about that. But when you brought up NFL, and I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
It's so big with your FanDuels and Caesars and and Barstool and all that. I mean. There's a lot riding on it now, and so you thought that fans were ramped up before. Imagine now that people are actually putting money on it.
That's right.
Which takes you to Saints are going into Foxborough this weekend. Now we watched New England in Dallas. I went to that game.
They're not good. The Patriots. I mean.
Yeah, but here's where I am, okay? So that line they're favoring New England -1.5 in that game.
Which means
in Foxborough.
They think they're going to win by 2.
That's correct.
So it's going to be a tight ball game.
You buy the hook, you buy the half point. But I have to believe that I would go with New England in that game, because if Carr's not healthy, and I have zero trust in Jameis Winston, and that's not because he played at Tallahassee Junior College. It's because he's Jameis Winston, and I just don't think that he's prone to the turnover. And then let's face it, Bill Belichick is a defensive master. He's a wizard, and I just think that they'll get it together enough to win by at least 2 points in Foxborough
at home.
So I'll take that one. New England and the points.
It's hard call, man, because it goes back to what I just said. I mean, are they going to go with Carr, who obviously is a throwing shoulder on the throwing arm
I think
injury?
He sits out too. I think he sits out.
I don't know what the Saints got going on with Pete Carmichael Jr. It's like, what are we doing with Taysom Hill? I mean, what's going on? I mean, it's the same. You know, when he comes in the game, something's about to happen with 7. Yeah. And so they're all keying on him. Yeah. And he's more than likely not throwing the football.
Right.
He's going to run it, you know?
It's I don't know. I don't like the Saints. I don't really follow them.
I like
follow
the Saints.
them just enough. Right.
Are you a Cowboys guy?
I'm a Chicago Bear. And so that brings on. I've had many lean years since 1985.
Man,
so
I can't wait to talk about the Bears here in a minute. But
yeah,
on the Saints, I'm with you. It's up in the air because you just don't know, is he out or – I mean, it's Tuesday. Is he out or is he in, right?
I think he's going to be out. I think that we're talking fall in Foxborough. Could be some weather, a little bit of climate. Could be raining, you know, and – I'm with
cold. You. At this point, you got to go with the better coach, and I would go with Belichick.
Well, yeah, but however, I do have a lot of faith in the Saints' defense. And
they
Mac
are
Jones
way better.
Is not. I mean, I had it on there that I would probably take New Orleans, but I'm probably going to roll New England's way, and that's probably going to bite me.
So Mac Jones, let's talk about him. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's developed as much as he should have at this point? I mean, this is his third year in the league?
Yeah, I struggle with him.
Or he just didn't have the weapons around him. I mean, you think about the great years of Brady.
They spent more money in free agency than they've ever spent this year. New England did on free agents and getting him some weapons. So I just don't think that he's
But you think about Brady's best year in New England. He had Randy Moss running go routes and could jump out the gym.
As Coach Spurrier would say, steamers. Those are steamers.
Steamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that dude can just – I mean, he's just like, hey, dude, can you out-throw me? Throw it, kind of deal. I don't know. I mean, I would take Patriots. I would take Patriots.
Well,
and I'm going to base that on coaching because I don't know personnel, what they got. Yeah, they haven't released it.
Belichick can be out-coached because of the talent level.
Yeah, he can.
I watched him this weekend in Dallas firsthand, and it was sloppy at best.
Well, I mean, going back to, like, last week with Carr, he only targeted Olave 3 times. It's like, man, he's hands down your best guy. I mean, at least you got to try to get him the ball.
Yeah. He is your weapon for sure. Ravens, Steelers. So the Ravens are coming in, and they are 3-1, and the Steelers are 2-2. The Ravens are favored 4.5 in that one.
I'd 100% take the Ravens. Did you see the Steelers lose to the Texans last week?
I think so too.
Was that the Texans they lost to?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I was like, going back to injury. Kenny Pickett he's got a knee now. So I mean, is he out? I don't know, but I mean, I don't know who their backup is, but I saw him go down.
Is it still Trubisky?
I think it is. I think it is old Mitchell. I think it is Mitchell.
I like Mitch, and Mitch. These are the kind of games where Mitch is due.
Right.
4.5. It's in Pittsburgh, though. It's in the Steel Town.
Okay.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh to beat the spread. They may not win the game, but I think they're going to beat the spread.
I'm going to take the Ravens on that one.
I like that. That's fine.
I'm going to take the Ravens on that one. I think Lamar's
and the good thing
good
is,
right now.
This is on YouTube on our Jumpin Offsides channel.
That's right.
So you can log these in and keep up with these because I have many detractors that love to watch my videos.
Really?
But, I was 2 for 3 this past weekend on big money. I had big money up on spreads on that, and hit 66% of it. And I didn't hear a peep. But I can guarantee you, if I'd gone 1-2, or if I had gone 0-3, I guarantee you they would be blowing.
They'd still be calling your phone
up. Yes, the only one I missed on was Florida, and I knew better. But it was your heart, though. Well, I have.
You had emotions going.
No, I really didn't. I have really good friends with the program, and two Florida Hall of Fame guys, and Todd Johnson and Mike Pearson, and of course Brock and I talked, and before the game we were talking, and the spread was 1 point Kentucky minus. They were giving up a point.
Okay.
And they both told me, because I was like, man, I just think I got to go with Kentucky. They were like, Florida by 18, Florida by 16, or no. Pearson was Florida by 16. Tilo was 21. So I'm like, man, they know more than I know.
They got the scoop.
Yeah, and it turns out they don't know shit from a jar of Vicks. But sorry, boys, I had to throw you to the wolves there. But it wasn't me betting with just purely my heart and or head. I did bet with my heart because I listened to two really, really, really good guys. But that cost me. Now it takes me, to that Ravens Steelers game. But then we've got Cowboys and 49ers in San Fran.
Oh yeah.
Vegas likes the 49ers -4.
I will take that one. Absolutely.
I'm going to go against you, and let me tell you why.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
Because 49ers look good.
They do look good. Dallas looks good, too. Take that Arizona loss away. However, it was on the road. But the reason I'm going to take Dallas here, these are the games that Dallas wins regular season.
Okay.
And so what's going to happen is Dallas is going to play out of their minds.
Okay.
And they are going to get to the quarterback like they've not gotten before. That's right.
Micah Parsons going to do it. Micah Parsons does.
Now, however, if they'll run at Parsons, they're going to have trouble. Like
even
Parsons
with McCaffrey
has trouble with the run. Yes. So I like Dallas in this game because let me tell you, when it matters and they have to go back to San Fran for the playoffs, I think San Fran does what they've done the last 2 years and sends them home. I personally don't mind if Dallas wins. I don't mind if Dallas wins at all. I don't care.
Yeah.
I do appreciate Dak, and I love the Jones family. We've spent a little time with them over the last little bit in Dallas, so they're my people.
Okay.
Just so we understand. So I like Dallas there to beat it +4. And you like San Fran -4. So we'll go with that. San Fran at home is going to be tough, but I feel like Dallas gets it done. Now here's a low-key matchup of the week.
Okay.
Real low-key. 2 1-3 teams, Cincinnati and Arizona. Now Cincinnati's favored by 3 points over Arizona. It's in Arizona.
I'd buy the hook there, and I'd go with the Cardinals.
I agree with that.
Because
I agree with that. Something's wrong with Joey.
Yeah, he can't look. It's his right. It's his right calf.
That's right.
Evidently,
plant foot.
He can't push off on it, right, man. I mean, we haven't even talked about this, but I mean, it's painfully obvious.
Yeah, he's not all there.
Going back to the whole Saints thing, he's not 100%.
Well, and I think that Joey, because of the pressure of the contract and getting that, I think he feels like I have to play. And
gotta play.
I like him. I like Joe a lot, and we know how good he is.
Oh,
and so we know there's an injury there, and I wish that he would get it right before something really happens. But Jamar Chase in the locker room, they're starting to get a little antsy.
He didn't call him out, but he kind of was like,
aimed it his way.
Yeah, he was. It was. The ball was going that way.
Guess what? Jamar Chase has been open since he was 14 years old.
He's still open right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where
he's running wild somewhere.
He's eating breakfast, but he's open.
Exactly. He's open. Just get him the ball,
dude.
All right, Detroit. We don't say D because the people in Michigan don't like that. It's Detroit. 3-1.
Oh, it's not pronounced Detroit?
No, it's Detroit. 3-1, but guess who they're playing?
Who they got?
My buddy Drew Head, Fuzzy's Taco Shop. No free ads, Drew. That's going to cost you.
At least 3 tacos.
Exactly. 3 meat. Detroit's playing the Carolina Panthers, and that's Drew's team.
Okay.
They were up in the draft where they get Bryce Young this year. We knew things would be tough. Drew knew that. But Detroit's playing Carolina. This is in Detroit, Ford Field. They like Detroit to win by 9.
Ooh.
9 in the NFL is like saying 60 in college.
It's almost like saying the Broncos would get beat by 70-20 or something like that.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
By the Dolphins.
Exactly.
Man, I'm going to go in the game straight up Detroit. I don't know if they're going to beat them by 9. But let me throw this out there. Dan Campbell has created a culture in Detroit.
Hard nose.
14. I saw a stat this past week. The last 14 games that Detroit Lions have played, guess what their record is?
What?
11-3.
Nice.
That's rolling, bro. In the NFL, Dan, you did it, dude.
Dan's a bull.
Dude,
Dan's
a dude.
Yeah.
He gets them ready to go.
Yeah.
He gets them ready to go.
I'm a big Dan Campbell guy.
I am too.
Man, yeah. So I think that Detroit actually covers that.
You really do?
I really do. Giving up 9 points, I think they do that.
Of the QBs taken in the first round this past year, you got C.J. Stroud is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, that was a good game last week.
Bryce Young.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think of the kid. Your guy Richardson, 15,
yeah.
5 now for Colts.
Yeah.
Man, I think of those 3 surprisingly, and it could be his cast of characters around him. But Bryce's team is not doing as good. Of those 3 teams, the Texans, Panthers, Colts, and going into the year, they're saying the Colts are going to be absolutely terrible.
Garbage.
But they're kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, well, they're showing how to use Anthony.
Sure.
And then he made a pass as he's getting hit by Aaron Donald on Sunday. It's a jump pass.
Yeah.
And he slings it 42 yards with a flick of the wrist as he's getting hit in the air on a jump pass. Talent.
Tough to teach.
Talent.
That.
No,
you can't teach that.
You can't coach that. You can't teach that. He is the first quarterback to have a rushing touchdown. He has 4 rushing touchdowns in 3 games.
Wow.
He's had a rushing touchdown in every game he's played in.
Right.
First one to ever do that. First quarterback to ever do that.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, the history of the league.
Yeah, I definitely picked the Lions in that matchup with the Panthers.
I like the Lions there. Bills Jags. This is an interesting one. 3-1 Bills, 2-2 Jags. Mine too.
I love him.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan, and then being a big fan of the Gators and being close to Jacksonville and everything, I like them. I work for Shad Khan, my boss.
Really? Currently or did?
Currently. He owns Flexing Gate. No shout out here.
No free shout
for Road Tag. No free ads here, but Road Tag works for him at Flexing Gate.
Okay.
And so I'm a big Shad Khan guy. His whole story. I hope one day to have him on the podcast.
That'd be awesome, man.
He is. He's amazing. Anyway, it takes us to Bills Jags.
Yeah.
Bills are giving up 5.5 points to the Jags here. It's in Duval. So it's there in Jacksonville. You saw Trevor Lawrence. No. I'm sorry. It is not in Duval. This is overseas. This is in London.
Oh, this is the first NFL. Okay.
Well, no. They played over there. The Jags played over there this past weekend and won.
And they stayed there all week.
With the Toy Story, theme, So, they are accustomed to it. 5.5 points. Buffalo could have jet lag. I don't like the way Buffalo looks this year. There's just something off. Sorry, Katie Turner, I had to do that to you. Katie Turner is a huge Buffalo Bill. I spent some time with her when I went down to Gainesville. She's over recruiting with Florida. Amazing person. Anyway, another story. But she's Buffalo Bills. And I just don't feel like there's something feels off with them to me. And so I like Jacksonville to beat the spread on that on the 5.5.
So they have the Bills by 5.5?
Yeah, Bills are favored by 5.5 points.
I think the Bills are a more talented overall team, like everything put together, right?
Yeah.
But I would go with Jacksonville on that one because they stayed there this week.
Well,
they played there last week.
You buy the hook.
Yeah.
You buy the hook, get it to a touchdown. Get it to 6 points right there.
That's true.
So, and you never know.
I'm going to go with the Jags.
Yeah. We're even on that one. I agree with you there. I want to go to college football now.
Okay.
We've got a slate. I've got 7 games circled here. From Vegas' standpoint.
All right.
And then things
that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, things that stood out to me. Plus, they're marquee matchups for the most part. Bama and A&M. A&M's riding high, coming off of a big win at Jerry's World against Arkansas. That's a rival.
Yeah, sure.
The old Southwest Conference days, you know. Bama and A&M. Bama's favored 2.5 at Kyle Field. Now, if this was a night game, I think you just pound the points and write it on a rock for A&M. But them coming in there, Bama to me still doesn't look like Bama. A&M is starting to roll, but however, they got beat by a very good Miami team. Maybe
in Miami, that was week 1.
Some think that A&M shouldn't have lost that game. I talked with some big-time A&M boosters this past weekend because they were in Dallas. I was in Dallas, had a chance to sit down with them and talk to them, and they felt like that the Miami game was they should have won that game. And we all know here, I pull no punches. I'm not a Jimbo Fisher guy. Fisher's use motors. I just don't. I don't really go for him a whole lot, But I like A&M here at plus 2.5 at home. He has Saban's number. He's always played him closely.
He has played Saban tight.
Yep.
So I got some commentary to put on that. So
Please do that.
Let's go back to A&M Miami. Okay.
Yeah.
Miami showed what Miami is capable of doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mario.
Yep.
He dialed it up. Hey, he dialed it up, dude. He dialed them up. He had them ready to play.
It's a shame that Brock's not here to hear you raving over his
Well, if you remember, you picked A&M in that
did.
one.
I certainly did.
And Brock convinced me
he did.
Why the Canes.
As Bobby Bowden would say, he did.
So But that being said, A&M's starting quarterback has gone down since then.
Yes, yeah.
And Max Johnson's got the boys rolling.
Yep.
Max Johnson's put the boys on his back, said, hey, follow 14.
I always like the running
14.
backs at A&M, too.
Yep.
He knows how to use them out of the backfield very well. I like the way A&M's built.
I think the problem with Bama right now is
no identity.
They don't, man. That's a great statement, because I think Saban sees the talent Milroe has, but it's not. He's used to the quarterback that can manage the game, make the passes when he needs it, but doesn't make the mistakes. Milroe's a playmaker. He's going to make the plays on his feet. The kid can run out the sight in 2 seconds.
Well, and they may house A&M at home, and they may beat them by 30.
Right.
But I just have to like A&M in that one at 2.5 points.
But like Bama's defense, I mean, they held Ole Miss to 10 points a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, but Kiffin is never going to beat Saban. Because
he can't beat Daddy.
No.
He's not going to beat Daddy.
Daddy's going to spank. Daddy will spank.
Daddy's going to take him to the woodshed.
I just don't. I have zero faith in Kiffin, and that's going to go back to something else in a minute. But
man, part of me, I don't know. I'm.
Who do you like?
I don't know, man.
Bama or
it's
Bama
tough to go against Bama, dude.
Out,
I mean,
Jeff, it's not that hard.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Jeff's shit pick of the week right here. Brought to you by Road Tide Portable Toilet.
I just can't stand A&M so much, but I do think they're going to win the game. I don't know by how many points, but I have to pick Max Johnson over Milroe right now.
Well, you want to be just like me, so I mean that's fine.
It's not that. I really want to pick. But I don't have faith. I don't have faith in their system right now. I think they don't have no chemistry. I think is what I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean? See it. I mean, it's all.
You said
over
identity,
the
chemistry. There's something. It's just off. So yeah, at A&M at home, I'd probably go A&M, man.
I like that.
I mean, just being honest.
Let's
and it kills my soul because I'm not an A&M guy.
If we're wrong, we're wrong.
I know.
I know. Throw it out there. That pick brought to you by Road Tag Portable Toilets. That could be the shit pick of the week right there. But that's what we have. Next game up.
Yeah.
A surprising 5-0 Missouri Tigers. They're at home this week at the zoo against LSU. You see the helmet there.
Representing strong.
Yeah. LSU goes up to Missouri.
Do you think LSU brings their defense this week, or are they going to leave them in Baton Rouge?
Oh, I think LSU. I really feel like that. Well, Vegas likes LSU -6.5 at Missouri.
Gonna beat Mizzou by 7.
Yep. So if you're gonna load up on Missouri, you go plus with the hook, take it to 7. And roll with that. Me personally,
in conference play, who has Mizzou actually played that's any good?
Thank you. Well, they played
because they are in the West, so this is a meaningful game.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
No, they're in the East. I'm sorry.
No, they're in the East. That's right.
Okay.
They're in the league with Georgia and Florida and everybody else.
But I mean, do they beat Vandy, and have they beat who? I mean, who have they played?
Yeah, they played nobody.
Okay.
Eli Drinkowitz, he's a fraud. And let's face it, if he was a credit card, it'd be fraudulent activity.
Oh my gosh, being flagged left and right.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be getting text messages from the bank just by the drove. I mean, he's fraud. He's a fraud. Eli Drinkowitz is not the guy. Vegas likes LSU at 6.5. That's crazy to me. On the road, Missouri is one of the toughest places to play, and you look at how far the crowd is off of that field. It just feels like you're playing out in the middle of the Midwest out there in a field. I hate it.
Really,
I hate it.
I've never been there.
It's awful. The game is slow. I hate the way they play, and so they'll lull you into that. Now let's think about this. If I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, this is what we know as a kid growing up on KARD 14 Fox is the Jefferson Pilot Sports Game of the Week.
11 o'clock kick?
11 o'clock kick in Missouri. It's still on Central Time, so it is 11 o'clock also.
Right. Okay.
We didn't even get the benefit of it being Eastern Time, and it's actually 12. It's 11 o'clock kick. You're on the road.
You eat breakfast and you go play football.
Yeah. Everything happens a lot sooner, so you're up earlier. You're in bed the night before a lot earlier. Bed check, all that. and you're in Missouri, which, let's face it, I mean, what is there? What is the attraction there?
Well, nobody's going to get in trouble.
Well, they shouldn't.
Right?
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
But so Missouri up there will lull you into that, and I think it's going to take LSU a minute to get their stride, which
I kinda
might
agree with that.
keep the game close.
It'll be close at halftime.
I like LSU to win the game, and I tell you, Jaden Daniels has done nothing to mess LSU up this year. He kind of has things moving the right way for them.
After the Florida State game, you can't take anything away from that man.
Malik Neighbors.
Woo.
They like him on the Spurrier Steamers. They will catch him down there. Yes. I like their receiving core.
I'm sorry, Brian Thomas. I said
Turner.
Turner.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr.
Junior.
I like LSU there.
I take LSU in the points.
That's going to be tough, though. Golly. But you got to take LSU to win the ball game. And,
I agree with you on that.
I think they do it, even with
Hopefully
the
they bring their defense this week.
All right, the next game up, they went to the grocery last week and they had Florida come into town, and Kentucky just manhandled them.
Surprisingly, 5-0.
Both lines of scrimmage. We've got 2 5-0 matchups right here. They're going into Sanford Stadium, between the hedges, so to speak. Georgia, 5-0, and Georgia's favored by 14.5.
Ray,
this
is number one for Kentucky coming.
You texted me during the game against
What'd
Florida,
I say?
and you said Ray freaking Davis.
Ray Davis.
And if you'll remember, I didn't even text back.
You didn't respond.
I was so sick.
I knew you were, but that 400-pound nose tackle, that Kentucky line was moving, big boy.
Yeah,
he's a two-gap player, dude.
Yeah,
and he wasn't. They moved him like
and Cameron,
dude,
Jackson.
That counter.
They had it rolling. I mean, they
pulled the two linemen. That counter.
They could have dive blocked all day,
bro,
and done it and run 33.
The biggest question now. Look, Georgia's going to win this game.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to cover the 14.
We'll see how good Kentucky is.
And I told you, I said, man, to me. So either Kentucky's offensive line is that good.
You're taking Kentucky on the points not to win the game, but you're taking them to get within 15 points.
Yes, they'll be within 15.
All right, I'm going to load up and take Georgia, and this kills me, but I'm taking Georgia minus 14. I'm going to buy the hook.
They're going to cover it?
They're going 2 touchdowns. They get it going. That's a 2:30 game. That's your CBS game. No, your CBS game is Bama and A&M, actually.
Okay.
Georgia, 6 o'clock ESPN.
Yeah, that's right. So Herb Street and Fowler will have that one.
That's game day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big game?
Well, College game day is going to be actually, they're going to be at the Red River Rivalry. And we'll get to that in a minute. But next game up, I wanted to have Art on the show and kind of drop the ball. This is a big matchup for Louisville. Coach Brom has turned the program around, and he's done it in a short time, which is what we at Florida wanted to happen there. Brom is a Louisville guy. He and Art are truly best friends, so I get a lot of inside info. Not inside as far as like what they're doing, what plays and that kind of stuff, but a lot of inside look as how Brom has changed the program.
Yeah, and the culture of the program.
Yeah, and kind of brought it back because remember he played under Petrino in Louisville's greatest days. He and Art. And they're playing Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's coming into the house that Art built.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming into Louisville.
Hey, now look. The quarterback for Notre Dame's got the boys rolling now. Sammy's got a great story, man.
Total stud. They're favored 6.5. Louisville, I watched them this past, they played, I think, Friday night. They had the Friday night game. They got it going.
What's their record this year?
They're 5-0, babe.
Undefeated.
Louisville's 5-0. They're number 25. They've cracked into the top 25. Them at home, they're going to be ready to play.
They're going to be dialed in.
I think the running back and then get play action going. I think they may be too much for Louisville. I'm sorry, Art. Like, I want to take Louisville in the points, but I just can't.
So Notre Dame's lost one game. Who'd they lose to?
Ohio State.
That's right. At the Irish place.
At the goal line. They only had 10 men on the field to stop it. But
tough deal.
Yeah. So I take Notre Dame in the points, and I'm hoping. So write this on a rock. This is for the record. I hope Louisville wins the game, and I hope they actually do win it. I'm
gonna go Notre Dame too, man. I think Sam's playing
too much.
Good. I mean, he's good, man. They got too many weapons.
We'll hit this next game really quick. I just put this on there because of Brock, QB2. We got Miami and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's, they're not very good. They're coming into the Hard Rock Stadium. Got Miami 4-0. They're favored by 21. Miami has taken care of business so far this year. I think they do the same thing. It's 3 touchdowns.
21?
And 3 extra points. Yeah, 21 points. 2-3 record
for Georgia Tech,
for the Ramblin' Wreck.
So the Canes are undefeated?
Yeah, Canes. They had a bye this past week. And let's hope they don't look past Georgia Tech looking ahead. But I like Miami minus 21.
Who does Miami have after
next week? I'm not.
North Carolina.
Oh, they could be looking ahead to Mac Brown and the boys. Good job, Josh.
That's right, Josh. Shout out to Josh.
That's our executive producer. Good job. Way to be there.
He's on the fact check.
New Orleans Saints guy. Bless his heart.
Too, but man,
Josh came through. Like I said, that was quick. Next game, it can be kind of quick, too. This is the Gator Growl. Homecoming game. Homecoming week down in Gainesville. Florida and Vanderbilt. As I told you, week 1, coming off week 0, Vandy.
And they've gone 2-4.
Yep, not worried about them. However, I've seen Florida play these kind of games. This is a 3 o'clock kick Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. So I like that as far as Florida's concerned, but the spread's 18.5. My man Billy Ray.
About the same as last week.
My man Billy Ray.
No, you don't want to bring up last week.
Still calling plays and all that. It's been a level of controversy down there as far as all that. I love Billy though. I'm going to have to go with Vandy, not to win the game, but plus 18.5. Buy that to 19 points. I don't think Florida beats them that bad. I could be wrong, and I just
I agree with that.
From a gambling, just because Florida is not going to necessarily house anybody.
No.
And they're not that good. Let's face it. Florida is not that good. That team you saw against Tennessee, it was like the Utah game last year. They played above their head. That shows you what they can do, but they're too inconsistent.
Right.
And these guys look past. I've seen it year in and year out.
You think it's Mertz? Does Mertz got it?
Mertz is really good. Mertz is a good quarterback. He's a professional.
Yeah.
He truly is. Not going to turn the ball over. You'll see him have a fluke interception like last week. The thing that I worry about, though, is can we count at Florida? Can we count? Can we count to 9? Can we count to 11? Somebody can't count because we'll have 13 men on the field and still get scored on. We won't have enough, or we'll have 2 jerseys in there, or we'll, procedures.
Well, that's coaching.
Trust me, I know.
That's coaching.
Now, we still have our same special teams coach. I'm not a fan. He's a special teams coach, but he's an analyst, so he's not even on the field. You notice we have blunder after blunder after blunder on special teams. Ridiculous. And I can talk about it because I know I study them more than I study anybody else. So I know. It's not that I know any more than anybody, but I just whatever. I'm so pissed off right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I was embarrassed last week watching them, and I'm on a thread with several players and former players, and all I could say is, guys, I'm embarrassed.
Ray Davis.
I'm embarrassed.
When you run,
I don't want to keep talking about that. We're playing.
I want to talk about. I know, but I want to talk about this. Pearsall, he is your best overall.
Pretty Ricky,
dude. He is a player. But how old is that kid?
Well, he's 24.
I was about to say, man, he's got more tattoos than anything I've ever seen, man.
Well, his NIL money goes to the tattoo shop. That's fine.
A college kid dude's got tattoos everywhere, man.
Let me say this, because I watch my guys, and I'm like, our receivers can't get separation. They can't get open.
He can,
and I think it's more schematic than anything.
You think?
Yeah. Now, we lost Caleb Douglas on that big catch he had that got us to the one. He broke his tibia, so he's out for an extended period of time. And Jonathan Odom, let's face it, I can outrun him backwards. The big lumbering tight end. I don't know what. Arliss Boardingham needs to be in the game. Needs to be a matchup nightmare to linebackers. Needs to be a matchup nightmare on some cornerbacks. Just big, give him some back shoulders. Let's get it going. I like Vanderbilt, though, to beat the spread on that. Not going to win the game, but I do like them to beat the spread.
I agree.
You buy that hook, get it to 19 points, and then Florida's got to beat them by essentially 3 touchdowns. I don't think they do that.
Right.
But the best player on the team is a guy named Trevor Etienne. And one thing that I cannot for the life of me figure out, and like I said, I don't mean to second guess Billy or anything, but I was watching it last week, and one of my questions to one of my good friends was, can we not put Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne in the game at the same time, flanking the quarterback on each side? Let's get creative here and make the defense they got to pick one of them to try to
which
take
one we're
out.
going to cover.
Exactly. And get your playmakers the ball. We don't do
that's the biggest thing on some of these teams that aren't producing offensively. Man, the number of touches, I noticed that when I was watching Kentucky and Florida. He didn't get any touches.
Awful.
Like, get him the ball.
Yeah.
A jet sweep, toss pass,
the biggest
something.
play we had with him was a play they had Mertz about to sack him, and he just underhanded the ball. And
that's
he
just
still makes 13 yards out of it.
That was the biggest one of the bigger plays.
That's my only second guessing of Billy. I love Billy Napier, and he has to be able to cook. He gets year 3. And look, I mean, we owe the guy $57.5 million if it doesn't work. So so let's don't mail it in. Let's support the guy and let it get going. But I need Billy. Here's what I need out of Billy. And Billy, I hope you're listening. I know a lot of people down the program do listen to our show because I know so damn much. But
clearly,
the thing I need Billy to do is I need you to get those two mitts that you have and grab the bottom of somebody's face mask and jerk them up to you, and let's shoot a hostage. Let's get some fire in this program. You don't wear a hat, so you can't throw that. Throw a headset, grab a face mask, make an example, shoot a hostage, and let's get fired up.
Get both farm hands on somebody.
Yes. Well, he doesn't. Not everybody is as. Not everybody's a freak like me that just has, all you need is one farm hand. Billy needs 2. You grab the mitt and you put them in there, and let's change the program. Amazing guy, great leader, doing big things like the Gator Made program, and I can talk about that kind of stuff just because I'm close to the program. They're changing lives down there, but we got to win football games too.
Got to put W's up.
And there's a lot of pressure on
They're going to win this week.
Yeah, let's hope so. I hope they don't. I hope they don't win by 18.5, but I do hope they win. And let the fans have a pretty decent taste in their mouth.
Yes, right.
All right, as we're starting to wrap the show up now because we're kind of getting time crunched here. The Red River Rivalry.
Okay.
College game day is going to be there. Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit, Corso, Reese Davis. They're all going to be there. OU is 5-0. Texas is 5-0.
Man, this is probably one of the biggest shootouts in recent history.
Yep. This
is this
huge.
At the old Cotton Bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be split down the middle between the old maroon and burnt orange.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Are you going to be there this week?
I'm not going to this game. I don't think. Things could change. I could show up down there. Maybe we need to look at a DB or something. Who knows? Maybe, not your fault.
That's right.
I'm going to be there. So 5-0, 6 points is the spread favored to Texas. Let's get down to the nut cutting, boys. It's going to be who's got the knife and who's carrying the jewels right here. Red River Rivalry, OU, Venables. Everybody was down on Venables last year.
Sure.
Oh, he's the wrong guy. He's the wrong. Hey, they beat a serviceable Cincinnati team. They're 5-0. Any way you
But this is for sure the biggest game they've played all year.
That's right. And Texas, they're game worn right now. They beat Bama.
They beat Bama at Bama. Went to Daddy's house.
At Bama, and
I lost that
You
pick.
remember correctly, I lost it too.
I know.
I lost it
That's
too.
right,
Josh. Of course, he's going to let us know every time he's right. But
Which is most of the time.
yeah, I mean, I got to give it to him.
He did pick old Texas.
But you got to think OU. It's a neutral site.
Neutral
it's
site.
right, pretty much in the middle. And as we say in the media, OU coming down from Norman. Spent some time in Norman last week. We had the Jim Thorpe Award and the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame auction. Mike James going to be on the program on the 11th of October. He'll be here with us. Had a great turnout for the auction. Spent some time in Norman, and so they're
feeling good right now.
I got a good pulse on the program there. Toby Keith has been talking to us a lot about it.
Really?
Of course, he's an OU guy.
Yep.
I've been talking to McConaughey down there in Texas about them. Of course, he's a huge Texas guy. He was at the Alabama game. Got to spend some time with McAfee on that. So, which way you going to go? What you going to do, Jeff? Who do you like in OU Texas?
Man, Texas is looking good.
They are.
Sark has got them turned around.
Yeah.
He's this would be a big win. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this would be his first win in the old Red River Rivalry. Is that true or false?
Look it up, Josh.
Now we're gonna go to our executive producer, Mr. Josh Warren, on that one.
Because
yes.
So he's never won this.
That's a very good point. If I had a point meter, you'd get it right now, Jeff.
Got that point. So I'm going to go say on the coaching end, he knows, it's that whole deal, right? If you're going to win one game all year, you better win this one.
Yeah.
Now, he's got the boys rolling.
Yeah.
He's got the boys in Austin believing.
Could be a letdown game.
Hey, it could be.
Could be a letdown.
But I think he's got them hyped up because he's going, hey, if we're going to win a game, we're going to win this one. I think he's got some tricks up his sleeve. I think he's going in there with a little chip, a little something on the shoulder.
Brush it off.
He's going to brush it off this week. He's coming in hot. I'm going to pick Texas, man. I really am.
All these picks are not necessarily who we think will win the game or whatever, but look.
I think they're going to win by a touchdown.
It's a gambling show too, Jimmy Dale.
It is.
It's a gambling show too. So,
but I'm going to pick them by a touchdown.
6 points.
I'll take it. I'll take Texas and the spread. I would take that.
OU Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
This is a guy that had started his career at UCF.
Okay.
This kid's at least 40. He's my age. He's got to be 43. Left-hander. OU has recruited well, 5-0. We've seen what Texas has done going into Tuscaloosa, and then really and truthfully manhandling everybody except Wyoming. They played them a little bit closer than they should have.
But let's talk about Gabriel.
Yeah, let's talk.
This is probably the biggest game he will have ever played in his life.
Probably. Even that fake national championship.
That old fake natty.
Yeah.
He was the QB for that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been many moons ago.
The Black Knights. Mm-hmm. I don't know, dude. I'm going Texas in the spread.
Are you like Texas in 6 points there? From OU, I'm going to buy that up to 6.5 there, and they got to beat me by 7. You know it's going to be probably going to be closer than you think just because of the rivalry. It should be a war. I think about this game with Teddy Lehman and guys like that in the middle, Rocky Kalmus for OU. I mean, they had the linebacker stuff and everything. But I'm like you. I'm going to go Texas there. I'm going to buy that down. I'm going to buy it to 5.5 where that 6 points will mean something to me. Okay. So if they beat them by 6, it's going to count for me. The way you just said, you're taking them in 6. And, if they win by 6, you pushed. which is to me as good as a loss.
Yeah,
a lot of
you're
people
right.
say good as a win, but they're
I'm
not.
going for two. I'm going for two. I'm
There
going
you-
for the win.
I like it. I like the way you think. All right, we're both taking Texas there in the rivalry.
Yep.
Josh, we got to ask you. You know, in our big game picks, we got to ask you who you like.
OU by 6.
Hey.
Oh,
He's
wow.
Okay, OU to win or OU to?
OU to win by 6, yeah.
OU to win by 6.
You better think OU needs to just win by 1. You better
What do
hope they
you
just
got to
beat
give
the
us more than
spread.
that? What are you basing that on?
Man, I just got a gut feeling.
Ooh, and
Hey,
he
had
did.
a gut
He did
feeling.
on Texas. Got
Now
to
he's
give
got
him.
me. Well, I'm
Nah.
too good at this picking and shit. I'm too good at that. So
Man,
I'm taking Texas in the in
I just
in the
think
5.5.
Sark's coming in.
I do too.
I think he's coming in.
We're going to see an aerial attack from
Yes.
Quinn Ewers. We're going to
Yes.
stretch the field.
Well, here's the deal. I think that the Alabama that Texas played in week 1 is not the same Alabama they are today. I don't believe that at all. Because the thing is, like, you saw some sloppy play with them and Ole Miss. They were actually down, I think it was 9-6 at the half. And Saban just literally said at the half, he's like, listen, we're playing poor. If we continue to play poor, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what it was. The guys rallied and came back and beat them by multiple scores. I mean, the thing is, like, and Alabama ever since week 1, like y'all talking about Mill Road, that is the most incredible speed I think I've seen on a quarterback. 1.
Yeah, he can run. He can run.
But then 2, you know, like you said, him being a playmaker, man, I think Texas played an Alabama team that didn't have their shit together.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, I think that Texas has a really big head right now.
They could.
That's kind of my thing.
You got a good
Texas
point.
got a really big head, and I think what's going to happen is
I can't wait for our text message thread
Oh,
to be
dude.
blowing up on this.
This is gonna be
if
glorious.
he's right,
I
and
know.
he has every right to tell us all about ourselves.
Yeah, on
If
the
we're
big
right,
games.
don't worry, I won't say a word. You know why? Because I've been in the end zone before. I don't have to spike the ball. Okay? I mean, I win. That's what I do.
Hand it to the ref, go back to the
saying
huddle.
That, on behalf of Louisiana Downs and Rotag and Dream Hunt Foundation, we want to thank you for tuning in and being part of this program, Jumping Offsides. So we want you to hit that like and subscribe button. Get us ringing up. Tell your friends about it. Share it all. And remember to strive for perfection and settle for excellence right here.
That's right.
End episode 2.